should be live and there we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sentinel Sports Extra Guardians Weekly Report. No analytics here. I'm Tim Shirer, and we have a guest tonight, Sentinel beat writer. He does high school for us, and he covered a couple of the Cavs games, playoff games this year, and he may do some Guardians games this summer. So I want you to welcome Ken Krisner to the show.
Tim, thanks a lot. Good to be with you.
Ken is a fellow Wycliffeonian. So I want to mention that the show is brought to you by CT Roofing and Power Wash, the official roofer of the Lake County Sentinel. They can help you with your roofing needs, your siding needs. They can rebuild your deck. They can power wash anything, your house, your drive, your stairs, your deck. They even do demolition now. Yeah, I don't want to be there for that, but they do demolition. And they can help you file an insurance claim for roofing and siding. So call them today at 440-278-0506, and they can come out and give you a free estimate. So the Guardians, they are currently 32-23 in first place, 3.5 games up in the American League Central, ahead of the, I guess they're surprising Chicago White Sox. I figured they would be a lot better this year, and they are. The Guardians' run differential is now plus 23. They won the division last year, being a minus. They were the first team in Major League history to do that. So positive things happening with the Guardians. This past week was pretty good, wasn't it, Ken?
Boy, what a whale of a week going into Detroit and sweeping 4. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And
I got to tell you. Go on.
And then going into Philadelphia, and, I know Philadelphia is around 500 right now. They've been playing a heck of a lot better since Don Mattingly became their manager, but that is still one stacked lineup.
That is not a place.
They really did a great job keeping the lid on that team. So at 2 out of 3, what more can you ask for going into Philadelphia, and 6-1 on the road trip?
Yeah.
You can't ask for anything more than that.
No. And, I'll say, is there anyone that Detroit hates now more than Cleveland?
Yeah, right.
Like, I was up there Sunday night for the Game 7.
Right. Yes, I know.
Yeah, they had me in the rafters. But, the Cavs humiliated them. And then, the Guardians go there and sweep them. I would have been happy with a split.
Right, sure.
And they go and sweep them in humiliating fashion, which is just beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is.
I'm not a big fan of A.J. Hinch. We'll get to him later.
Okay.
I dislike him more now than I did an hour ago after hearing a comment that he made. But we'll talk about the Guardians. We'll review the Guardians leaders, or where they are statistically in Major League Baseball. We'll start with the pitching staff first. They are 6th in the MLB with a 3.55 ERA. Last week, they were 10th with a 3.86 ERA. So think of that.
Yeah.
They brought their ERA down 0.31 in 7 days.
And I think, Tim, when you get to this time of the year, that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I mean, because you've already built up a lot of innings, and to bring it down that much, I know, minuscule maybe you might think, but still bringing it down like that on May 25th is pretty impressive.
And, the starters, their ERA is 3.46, 6th in Major League Baseball. They moved up a spot from last week where they were 7th, 3.77. So the starters dropped theirs, .31, which was that's what's carrying the team. Let's face it, the pitching's carrying the team. When we get to the offensive stats, that will be very apparent that it's the pitching. But the bullpen, okay, they also went down .31. They were 4.0 last week, 15th. They're now 13th at 3.69.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
At the end of April, they were 29th in ERA for relievers at 4.77. So they've dropped it over 1 run in a month.
Yeah, the bullpen as a whole got off to a rough start, but it's a long season, and you knew that getting Gaddis back and now getting Gaddis kind of getting him back to where he was the last couple of years really helps. Eric Zabrowski has been lights out, fantastic. And they're getting contributions up and down the bullpen, especially when they bring some of these guys in crunch time. I
was kind of surprised today when they designated Peyton Paulette for. I
was too, and I
wonder if they talked to him. I wonder if he's going to re-sign.
Yeah, and bringing up, I don't understand bringing up Logan Allen. I mean, maybe there's a method to their madness, but that one at the beginning, when I first saw that, I thought, I wonder what they're going to do with him.
Yeah, I know. I wonder, is he going to be a long reliever? I mean, they haven't needed a long reliever lately. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Brandon Ott has commented. He said that the pitching was awesome this week for both teams. Hey, Brandon, how are you? So, and he's right. Both teams, they both scored 4 runs.
Yeah. I think Vogt said it best. I think he said it Friday night after that game between Sanchez and Williams, but I think you could expand that to the whole weekend. If you like pitching, that was the series to watch this weekend, Cleveland, Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Wheeler for the Phillies looks like he's just picked up, he was late because he had the surgery at the end of last year, but he looks like he's in Cy Young form.
Well, Philadelphia isn't, an easy place to play.
Right.
But it's definitely, I would have to think it's better than New York.
Yeah.
So he's probably just happy to be out of there.
Right.
And he's just shown it since he's been in Philadelphia. He's been great.
Yeah, it really has been.
And one last thing about the pitching staff, they are still number 1 in Major League Baseball through 55 games. They lead Major League Baseball with 515 strikeouts.
Yeah. How about
They're
that?
striking out almost 10 guys a game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
That's back to the Corey Kluber days when when that staff was striking out a ton of guys.
I'm not going to say he's going to win it. I'm not even going to say he's going to be in the top 3 when the season's over. But if he continues the way he's been pitching, you had to put Gavin Williams in the Cy Young Award conversation.
The only reason they won't is because he pitches for Cleveland.
Right.
So, but the offense, I still think, these numbers are here and they don't look great, but I still think the offense is so much better than last year.
Yes, no doubt about that. I agree completely.
The average is 228. It fell 3 points from last week, and it ranks 25th in Major League Baseball. They were 23rd last week, so that dropped. They are ranked 24th in Major League Baseball in slugging. Last week, they were 17th, so they dropped 14 spots from 387, 14 points from 387. They're 15th in on-base percentage at 320. They only dropped 0.3 from last week, and they remained at 15, which they were last week too. They are ranked 20th in OPS, 693. If you fall under 7, that's not good.
Yeah, right.
because the league average or for years has been like 711. So last week they were 14th at 710. Now they're 20th at 693. But they continued to win, and they got hits when they needed to. You know what I mean?
You know what, Tim? Yeah, you got to look beyond the statistics, because not only are they getting hits when they need it. In one game last week against Detroit, DeLauder was pulled an offer, but he had 2 RBIs because he put the ball in play and he got the runs home.
Yeah.
He tied up the game Wednesday night at 1 and took Bybee off the hook because Patrick Bailey put the ball in play and they got a run home. And then they won it in extra innings. Yeah. So, yeah, statistically, they're not a thing of beauty, but they do a lot of things right, just enough at least to get the job done.
But one stat I'm really liking, and they didn't hit one today, though. So through 54 games, they are on pace to have 165 home runs. I don't know when the last time that happened.
Actually, they did hit a home run today.
Did they?
Bazana hit one in the 8th.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So 54. So they were on pace for 162 going into the game. When's the last time they did that?
Yeah.
They're ranked 15th. They're right in the middle of the pack in home runs.
Right. It might have gone back to like 10 years ago, the 2016 team.
It's got to be a lot. I'm going to have to look that up for next week because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And, they're ranked 14th in runs scored. So just because all that other stuff doesn't look good, they moved up a spot. They scored 22 runs this week only, and they moved up a spot. So they're 14th. They were 15th last week. Stolen bases, they're number 2 in the game with 54. They're 8 behind the Marlins. And Jose Ramirez is still 2nd in Major League Baseball and number 1 in the American League.
And isn't that amazing that he is number 1 in the American League?
Yeah.
And he is off to such a slow start.
Yes. What would he if he was hitting higher?
I know.
He'd have 30.
He would be on his way to 40 or 50 for the season. No doubt.
There's no doubt about it that they give signs, but he has the green light whenever he wants.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like at the plate and on the bases. So.
Yeah, look, we should talk about their walks too. The old adage, walks as good as a hit. One of the things I've been most impressed by DeLauder and Bazana is their discipline, their plate discipline. They are not afraid to lay out pitches that are right off the corners. Mm-hmm. And that as they get more experience in this league, that is just going to just rocket them into another stratosphere in terms of hitting.
It will. So another topic, as I mentioned to you before we came on, I talked with a local sports anchor from one of the TV stations. Well, we were waiting in line last night to go into the Cavs game, to cover the Cavs game, and that's a whole nother story. But I am wearing my shirt they gave us last night, though. I gotta, that was rough.
Yeah, it was rough watching it too.
If the team had given as much effort as the fans, they blow the Knicks out.
Yeah.
So, but we were talking about the 3 teams and how fans support the 3 teams, and the Cavs have always been 3rd. They have. Everybody knows it. But like he said about the Guardians, people hate the owner.
They really do.
And I don't think it's people like you and I who understand how baseball works revenue-wise. But it's the people who don't really understand it, who want to bring their 3 kids and their wife to a game. They pay these huge amounts of money. And there's, before this year, really, there's one star on the team. Or maybe 2 with Quan, I guess you could say.
Right.
That's it. And the Yankees come to town and have 8 stars on the field at a time.
Yeah.
Paul Dolan, this is what I said to the guy. I said, Paul Dolan needs to never do an interview. because he's not good at it. He has never explained in an interview how baseball revenue works. If he had done that early on, I think people would maybe understand a little better. I mean, you'd still have the skeptics. What do you think?
Yeah, you'll always have the skeptics, and it's ironic that they hate Paul Dolan more than they hate Jimmy Haslam.
Oh my God, I know.
That's another story for another day.
I just don't know how.
Well,
he covers them every week. He has to go to the games, and he's in Berea a lot. He just said it's just a circus.
Yeah.
So,
with Paul Dolan, the thing is, he has got an incredible story to tell about this franchise over the last 13 years now. Listen, we're all disappointed that they have not won the World Series.
Yeah.
Since 95 for sure, when they moved into Progressive Field or Jacobs Field, especially in the last decade or so.
Yeah.
But if you look at what they've done, and you see that the Dodgers are number one in most wins in that period. The Yankees and the Astros are right there too, and the Guardians are there.
Yes, they're
and the Guardians and the Yankees during that same period, they're in the same boat. They both have been very successful. They've only made the World Series once.
Yeah.
In that period, and they both lost.
Yeah. I mean, this is the longest streak in Yankee history.
Yes, right.
Not winning a World Series.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you look at, so this is basically on I don't know how you would describe it as a cost per player basis. The Guardians are the best team in baseball.
Yes.
Those other three teams have mega salaries.
The Guardians and the Rays are unbelievable how they do it.
Yeah, they are. Right.
They really are. You have to put in there too. They spend a little more money than the Guardians and the Rays, but you have to put the Milwaukee Brewers in there too.
Oh, no question about that. No question about that. They are as well-run an organization as Cleveland, Tampa. Absolutely. They get people in the last 2 years. Brewers fans have been upset. Last year, they traded their reliever, Williams. This year, they traded a starter. And yet they keep on going. They're in first place. They just swept the Cubs. I know they just lost 2 out of 3 this weekend to the Dodgers, but still, they are on track to win the division again.
I believe the Guardians are still the only team to to win a series from the Dodgers this year.
I think you're right. At one point, they were the only team to beat the Dodgers early in the season.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I just think that there's so many examples of how high payrolls don't matter.
No.
The Mets are a perfect example.
They're the best example ever.
Yes.
That team is horrible. That team is horrible.
Complete disaster.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought when it came to, it's always great to have money because, maybe you could keep some of your players for sure. Maybe you could make that deal at the deadline. But when you get between the lines, it doesn't matter if it's Aaron Judge or if it's Chase DeLauder, who's making the minimum right now. You still got to throw strikes. You still got to, get them out or they still have to come through. And it doesn't matter if you're making $100 million or the minimum.
Yeah. And I think, Pete Alonso is a good example of what the culture is with the Mets. He had no problem just leaving.
No, right. Right.
And it sounds like from everything I've heard that locker room is just toxic.
Well, they traded Jeff McNeil, who might have been it was one of their best players because he couldn't get along with Frankie Lindor, no matter what they try to tell you otherwise. And now McNeil is doing a job for Oakland or Sacramento, and they're in first place.
Yeah,
that can't be a coincidence.
No, and I guess I kind of cursed him when he left. I don't think it matters, but I just said I hope he never wins a World Series. And he's not what the media tries to make him out like this great guy. And I think it's proving that he's not. The Guardians have done fine without him, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have been.
Yeah.
They haven't missed a beat.
And, I'm not sure there's a guy in that locker room that would sleep during a rain delay either.
That story,
I can't believe he told
astounds me. I had to go for a walk during that rain delay because I was so keyed up and I wasn't playing.
And he went to sleep. Like, are you kidding me?
I know. I will never understand that. Just from the perspective of you're in the biggest event of your life.
Your
profession.
And you're getting paid a lot of money for it.
Right. And there you are taking a nap.
Yeah. So and I always have an issue with him because of, when they asked him, why did the Cleveland media call you Frankie? And he said, because, I guess because they're lazy.
Yeah.
Well, the first two people that called him Frankie were Dave Glazer and I.
Mm-hmm.
We walked in the locker room after the first game to talk to him. And Dave said to him, "What would you prefer?" And the words out of Francisco Lindor's mouth were, "Frankie's okay."
Yeah.
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 So when he said that was a shot at Dave Glazer and I.
Yeah.
Who treated him absolutely great. So that guy's absolutely forgot where he came from.
Yeah. I do remember last year when Cleveland went to New York to play the Mets, and I think it was either last year or maybe it was 2 years ago when the Mets were here. He was asked by someone, "What do you miss most about Cleveland?" He said, "Winning." And I thought, well, that says a lot right there. That one word says a lot about where you were and where you are now.
And that's beautiful.
And sometimes money isn't it's not always greener over the.
Don't tell me he couldn't have raised his family just fine on what Jose makes.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have.
Right.
So, but let's move on. We have you wanted to talk about Cade Smith for a minute.
Yeah. Cade Smith is taking all the fun out of nail-biting ninth innings. I mean, he is so efficient. I don't have a chance to get worked up, because, he puts a guy on and he goes 3-0 on the next guy. This guy is just bam, 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 and the game is over. It's funny, very impressive, and he has really filled out that as a closer.
He has. I think last year was tough to step in like he had to.
Oh, I mean, doing it on the fly.
Yeah.
But even as the season went on, you could see that. I think even before that all happened with Class A, you could see he had the stuff.
Oh, he definitely had closer stuff.
Just because you have the stuff.
Nothing bothers him.
Right. And just because you have the stuff doesn't mean that you could succeed in the closer's role. Mm-hmm. But yeah, nothing bothers him. And you know what? He's going to blow, he's blown 2 this year. It's been a while. He's going to blow another one at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. You know what? It reminds me a lot of Cody Allen. Cody Allen is that way. I love Cody Allen.
Great.
Cody Allen was
Cody
awesome.
Allen at Lake County for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
He pitched one game and they moved him up.
You're right. Right.
Nice seeing you, buddy.
Here's a little trivia about Cody Allen. He was from, I can't remember, I think he was drafted in 2010. Whatever year he was drafted, he was the second fastest player to make it to the majors.
Well, yeah, it was 2010.
Trevor Bauer.
I think he was at Mahoning Valley for like 10 minutes. And then we never saw him pitch. He joined them on a road trip and got moved up before they got home.
Yeah. Well,
so we never saw him.
Yeah. I think Trevor Bauer was the only player taken in that draft to make it to the majors faster than Cody Allen. Cody Allen was like a 20th round draft choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Boy, they can identify pitching, can't they?
You talk about Cody Allen spending 5 minutes in Lake County. In 2017, Lake County had a great poster. It had all the Indians from the World Series team who made it who went through Lake County, and all of them had a Lake County uniform on, except Cody Allen, because they couldn't find one.
No, they never took a picture of him.
Yeah, but
it was that
Cade
quick.
Smith reminds me a lot of Cody Allen. I mean, you know, Cody's going to blow a save.
It's going to.
Although in the playoffs,
guess who else blew saves? Guess who else blew saves, Ken?
Mariano Rivera.
Yes. How about that?
He, you know, if it wasn't for Mariano,
the Diamondbacks wouldn't have a world championship.
And they might have won 5 in a row. You know, between Sandy Alomar and Luis Gonzalez for Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And he's, you know, he's the greatest closer of all time.
Yeah. So people, when they get on, guys, I have a friend. You met Rachel at the Cavs games.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. She covers the Guardians, and whenever Cade Smith comes in and he starts off maybe throwing a couple balls, she'll text me, and she'll say, "Here we go with Cade," and I don't answer. And then when he gets the next 3 guys out, I text her back and say, "Yep, he retired the side in order again." Like, we have a joke with that. We're going with that, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, now the rookies, you know, we got you mentioned DeLauder earlier, Bazana, too, and then Parker Messick.
Yeah.
Is he the best? He's the best rookie pitcher to start the season with the team.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who.
Boy, it's hard for me to think about that too. Right. Right.
Like,
and have so much success right away.
I mean, Charles Nagy? Was
Maybe.
Was he even as good?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think Nagy struggled, and some of that was before that team got good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time for sure. It's been an absolute long time. All those pitchers that pitched in like the mid 2010s, you know, on the World Series team, Kluber, Carrasco, Bauer, Clevenger, Tomlin, all those guys kind of incrementally got to a point where they became a solid starting rotation. Yeah, nothing like what he's doing.
Yeah, but we mentioned Corey Kluber. I think he's playing a part in this whole thing.
Well, that's great.
You know,
yeah,
being one of Willis's assistants.
Well, and I know he helped Gavin Williams last year.
Boy,
they're very similar. Get on track in the second half of the season.
Yeah, they're very similar. Gavin Williams is a quiet guy. He spent April and May at Lake County, and Tanner Bybee was there at the same time. And you just knew both of them were going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you knew Williams would be a little better, I think, because he throws so hard. Yeah. He reminds me a lot. He reminds me a lot of Nolan Ryan.
Wow.
But he does. But he earlier in his career has gotten the walks. It looks like he's gotten the walks under control.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if Nolan Ryan ever got them completely under control. You know,
he was
out 12 and walk 5.
Right. Yeah. Nolan Ryan was strategically wild because of that fastball.
Yeah. And he knew nobody except Robin Ventura was going to come out and challenge him.
Yeah.
And I love how Robin Ventura says, "I knew it was a mistake before I got to the mound."
But once you get there, you have no choice.
You have no choice. You have
you can't just say, "I surrender."
Yeah. So, but those 3 guys, man, it's great to see 2 hitters.
Yeah.
You know, like that. I'm disappointed they sent George Valera down.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would have been the 3rd outfielder.
I'm hoping he still can contribute.
I'm hoping to, but I'm not disappointed that Angel Martinez has played so well because I'm happy for him. He worked hard in the offseason.
Yeah,
you know, so that's really that's a good thing.
I think
hard work should be rewarded.
I think Rick Manning said something a few weeks ago about Martinez. Is he had a great spring training? I mean, and it was and actually it was amazing to me that he was still on the bubble apparently
at
the end of spring training. And I'm thinking, how can that be? He's had a monster spring training. But Manning said something like, well, it's good that he's had the success he's had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Because it kind of reaffirmed everyone's belief that he was a legitimate outfielder in Major League Baseball, as opposed to getting off to a slow start. Maybe it gets set back down, and then coming back in July and August. Getting
think
going.
if Valera hadn't got hurt near the end of spring training, he makes the roster and Martinez doesn't.
Yeah, that could very well be. Right.
I really think that's what would have happened, but he proved that he belonged. And, he didn't play today. Did he play yesterday?
He did play yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, today was the only game that I actually saw. I watched a little on my phone yesterday. I was already at the Cavs game.
Yeah, right. Late start because of the rain.
Friday, I missed the whole thing. And, so let's review last week, and then we'll preview this coming week. But we're going to talk about, they went to Detroit and they swept the Tigers. But, prior to that, the night before, I'm driving to Detroit to cover the Cavs-Pistons game.
Mm-hmm.
And classic line by Jim Rosenhaus, who I believe is so underrated.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Tom Hamilton says, could be a pretty interesting crowd here tomorrow night. And Jim Rosenhaus says, well, I think that's all going to depend on what happens tonight.
Yeah, right. I think he's spot on there. Yeah.
And let me tell you something. That Little Caesars Arena is a beautiful place. It is. It's a very nice place. But wow, those people, man. Oh, wow. They just, I never realized this before. They're kind of different, Ken.
Yeah.
Their fans were kind of different. Yeah, it was just very odd. But so, the Cavs finished the Pistons off. As I said in my headline of my article, they dismembered the Pistons.
Yeah.
And so, and then, what happens? Monday, Guardians go in and win 8-2. Jose hits his 8th home run. The aforementioned Angel Martinez and Bazzano went 2 for 5 each. And Ciccone has his first good start of the year.
Yeah.
So how humiliating was that? They couldn't hit Slade Ciccone.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, and while we're on the Tigers, AJ Hinch, who I think is the most overrated manager in baseball. I just think he had this great team in Houston that you or I could have managed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How could he screw that up?
They gave themselves a little help.
Well, they did. They cheated too.
Yeah.
So, but then this week, someone asked him something about the AL Central, and he compared it to the NFC South, saying that the NFC South in football is bad. You're talking about your own division.
Yeah. And you're talking about your own division. You're in last place. Right.
How smart is this guy?
I mean, is the context of that? Well, just because we're struggling now, we could make a run at it.
Yeah, no.
Well, and you know what? I mean, look, last year Cleveland was 15 games out and won the division.
And that's the first time it happened in 100.
Right. It doesn't happen. That doesn't happen often. And also, there's just something different. I mean, when Cleveland loses a game, it's done. They just go on and they just start thinking about tomorrow's game. I mean, they lost 3-0 Saturday. And one of the things they're saying before the game today on TV is, they've had a great week. They won the week. In terms of
Joel Burr saying hi. Guy on TikTok, Joel Burr saying hi.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying. They want to come
out and they want to win today. They want to win 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia. That would cap off the week. And, they went out and did it. I think Detroit is still stewing because Scooble's out. And all of a sudden, they're 12 games out of first place.
Pitches once every 5 days.
Yeah.
You're not winning the other 4 days either.
No, right.
So you can't blame it all on that.
Right.
I mean, and how mentally tough are these major leaguers if they can't play well just because he's hurt? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and I think back to last year when the Guardians were in the middle of that 10-game losing streak, including 3 to the Tigers at the very end of it, and being just completely dumbfounded that this was happening.
Yeah.
But something in me thought they're going to pull out of this. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs because that would have been a real pipe dream on that day. But they're gonna pull themselves out of it, and they're going to be respectable for the year. Well, little did I know, only because I think of the culture that they're
true.
They
I had forgotten that culture after the 10th loss in a row.
Yeah, right.
My Guardians Weekly from July 5th of last year. I was pretty harsh on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched it after they clinched the division, and I was like, wow, do I look like an idiot?
Evan and I were at that last game last year against Texas, the Sunday afternoon game. And, we wanted to go to one more game before the season ended.
That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Based on the schedule and Evan's schedule, the last game of the season was really the only one we could go to. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, it's either maybe at that point we bought them in early September. Maybe it's the last wild card spot. They have a chance. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's just the game, they're out of it, and you just enjoy one more baseball game.
Yeah.
For the season. I mean,
like in the 80s.
It turned out to be one of the most amazing days I've ever spent at the ballpark.
Yeah.
That day.
It's just crazy. Well, and it's just, and that makes it's always better. A baseball game is always better. I know you'll agree with me on this. When you go to it with your son.
I could not agree more. Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. I love when I go to Guardians games with Tommy.
Yeah, no, I do too with Evan. We were at last Saturday's game, get the Rajay bobblehead.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as typical as it is when I go to a game, we had a bunch of Reds fans sitting around us.
Okay.
But, they were fine. It was a great night. And, of course, they won. But you're right. Going with my son. And you know what?
It's the best.
Going with my dad when I was younger. Yeah,
and he felt the same way because he was going with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, look, and I made it clear. I made it publicly. People know publicly. I've talked about it. My dad and I didn't have a great relationship. But the one thing that we both loved and felt the same way about was the Cleveland Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We could not be getting along, but if something came up with the Indians, it brought us together. You know, so that's what baseball is. I love that about baseball.
That's what I love about baseball too. One of the many things I love about baseball.
Yeah. And an example is with the high school team with the Wickliffe Blue Devils. One of the assistant coaches, the lead assistant coach, the Mr. Everything of the assistant coaches, who should win assistant coach of the year in Ohio, Kevin Sharp. Mm-hmm. His son, Peyton, is now, I think he's 10. I can't remember. He told me. I'm pretty sure he's 10. But there's a new glow with Kevin this year because Peyton comes to games and him and Peyton play catch before the game.
Yeah.
And he throws BP to Peyton in the batting cage. And it's like, yeah, there it is.
There it is. Right.
It's just amazing.
Right.
So let's humiliate the Tigers a little more. Tuesday, the Guardians win 4-3. Travis Bazzana hits his second home run of the season. It was a 2-run shot in the 4th inning. Quan had an RBI hit in the 7th inning to put the Guardians ahead 4-3. And Colin Holderman picked up his first win, improving to 1-0 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that was great. But then maybe they'll need to call Colin Holderman the Hawk because he picked up his second win the next night when Jose doubled, Martinez tripled, and they won 3-2.
Right.
That was on Wednesday night. So the Tigers were already like, oh my God, And then we get to Thursday afternoon, and the Guardians won 3-1. Joey Cantillo pitched well and improved to 4-1. The Guardians winning 2-0 in the eighth. Patrick Bailey, the light hitting catcher, I think it's fair to say, but Gold Glover, hits his first home run as a Guardian, solo shot. Schneemann and Jose had the other RBIs in the game, and Rocchio. Remember when people wanted to hang him in public square?
Yeah, right. Got to talk about him.
Yeah, he went 3 for 3 with a double.
Yeah.
Brian Rocchio, who people just, they hated him before he got sent down last year.
Now, I don't know what the statistics are, but I can't believe there are too many players in baseball right now who are better at driving in runs with 2 strikes and 2 outs than Brian Rocchio.
Crazy.
It might be a few, but
Well, right now he's one of the best 9 hitters in the game.
Yes, right.
I hope they leave him there too.
Yeah.
But I mean, he at times last year before he got sent down, man, I think the hatred for him was, wow, it was right up there with like the hatred for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Like it was bad.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy for him.
Yeah, so am I.
He was at Lake County for a year and he's quiet. He's a quiet guy. Doesn't say much, but they loved him back then. I remember them talking about how good this guy was going to be.
I could remember reading about him as he was coming through the system. Yeah.
You know who they didn't think was going to be great? Daniel Schneemann.
Boy, he has really worked himself into being a really good ball player.
Everyday player.
Yeah, everyday player.
5 days a week, I would say, at least.
Finalist for the super utility Gold Glove last year.
How about that?
Put him anywhere, and he will not let you down. Yeah.
I remember when I was told by a minor league expert who used to write for the Sentinel that he's nothing but a farmhand. He'll never see the major leagues. Well, I guess you can't be right all the time, can you?
No, you can't be right all the time. Right. Right.
I remember Ross Atkins telling me there's nothing wrong with being called a farmhand, Tim. I was a farmhand.
Yeah.
And that did kind of change my thinking about that because I used to feel bad for guys when people would call them farmhands.
Yeah.
Like, this guy works hard and you're calling him a farmhand, but I guess everybody has their place, and look,
right.
I guess being a farmhand is better than not playing baseball at all.
Well, and this weekend, Saturday in St. Louis, Cardinals brought up a guy who, and I don't know his name, but he spent like 10 years in the minors. Hits a home run in his major league debut.
I mean, love that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it like Cruz or Lopez or something like that?
Maybe Cruz. Yeah.
Because his family was there. I saw the video after. Yeah.
Right. What amazing. That's such a great baseball story.
Well, yeah, because, and I didn't know it before I covered the Captains. Like, they don't make a lot of money.
No.
They live at the poverty level. They really do.
Right. Right.
3 guys in an apartment because they can't afford the rent if it's not 3 guys in an apartment. So, he made it. He got to the big leagues. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. So then they go to Philly after sweeping the hapless Tigers. And, the Phillies are hot after they fired Rob Thompson and hired Don Mattingly, which I'm so glad he's gotten another shot.
Yeah, me too.
I love Don Mattingly.
That's the one thing about watching Toronto lose the World Series last year.
Yes.
Was him not getting a World Series ring.
For me, look, I don't like Mark Shapiro. And I do like Ross Atkins. But I couldn't root for the Blue Jays because I didn't want Mark Shapiro to be able to brag.
Yeah.
But I did at the end when they showed their dugout, I thought, Don Mattingly. Yeah, and Mark Wazinski, the first bit. Yeah. Former Captain's manager.
Yes.
Went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Losing his daughter and everything. I felt bad for them. And I did feel bad for Ernie Clement.
Oh, I did too.
I love Ernie Clement. Oh,
I
my
do
God.
too. I do
What
too.
what a fighter he is, right?
And he was within what? 1 foot, 2 foot of being the World Series MVP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ernie Clement.
Yeah, Ernie Clement.
Yes.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
He's an example that good guys do win. Good
Yes,
guys
absolutely.
succeed.
Absolutely.
Yes, he absolutely is,
Well,
But,
and also, everyone generally assumed Toronto and Seattle were going to get back to the American League Championship Series this year.
Yeah, they're both struggling.
Yeah, they're both struggling. Every season is different. Injuries are just the great equalizer on things. I mean, most of Toronto's starting pitching is on the injured list. Bieber, I'm not even sure if he's picked up a baseball yet.
I know.
Yeah. And, out in Seattle, Cal Raleigh, has an 0 for 34 streak that he snapped, and then he goes on the injured list.
Yes. I'm glad I didn't draft him in any fantasy leagues this year. But I mean that you never know when you'll get back thing is a real thing.
And we know that more than anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have swore that we would have been to one more World Series after 2016 at least.
Yeah.
And won it.
Yeah. And I thought the 90s run would go longer even.
Same with me. Absolutely.
And I mean, even my fandom with the NFL with like Tampa Bay, when they won the Super Bowl in 2002, like I was so happy they won the Super Bowl. But I also thought, well, they're going to win a couple more. I mean, they're really good.
Right.
They never won another one until Tom Brady.
It's not easy to win a championship.
No.
You could be as good as, Seattle last year was as good as any team in baseball last year at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. And they were, 4 or 5 outs from winning the World Series or getting to the World Series. And, Springer hits the home run and all that work. And then the season ends like that.
Yeah, it's devastating. Like when the Captains won the title in 2010, it's the first championship I ever covered. And I remember standing in that locker room being so happy for those guys because for the first time in my life, I understood how hard they worked.
Yeah.
And that team was not full of talent. They just worked hard and out-hustled everyone.
How many players from that team eventually made it to the majors? Not many, I don't think.
2.
2? Yeah.
Cody, what was his name? He was the closer. And Roberto Perez.
Roberto was on that team?
That was it.
I did not know that.
I
did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
And I asked Ted Kubiak after in the locker room. It was just such a good group of kids. They loved Ted. They played hard for Ted.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him in the locker room, Ted, this might be a dumb question, but does this rank up there with your 3 World Series championships? And he said to me, Tim, it means more.
Wow.
Because I know this group of guys, very few of them are going to have that shot. And this is their World Series.
I have to tell you, I don't have many regrets in my life, but one of my regrets is not taking my kids to go see that last game in 2010.
It was a Monday night.
Yeah, because, 2010, I was thinking actually to myself, that might be as good as it gets for me in terms of winning a world championship.
The thing is about that, they had a chance to win it on Sunday night. And Tommy went, okay, but I couldn't have him go 2 nights in a row on a school night.
Yeah.
So he went that night and they lost. And so it's so funny. Like I think of things like I'm a TV guy. I love TV shows. I love TV history. And after the game too, after they won it Monday night, I said to Ted, like Ted and I were friends, Dave and I and Ted, we became good friends. And so I said to Ted when we were sitting in his office a while after it ended, And I said, if you guys would have won last night, Ted, I wouldn't have missed the premiere of Hawaii 5-0 tonight. The new Hawaii 5-0. And he's like, well, that's your fault, Tim. If you had told me that, we would have won it last night. And I said, you know what, though, Ted, it's okay. Because they won it on September 20th, 2010. And that was exactly 11 years to the day my mom died.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, I said, now I have something positive to think about on September 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And he broke down and cried.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm so happy, Tim, that you have that now.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's sports, and, have you ever met Ted?
No, I've never had the pleasure.
He's one of the greatest people you'll ever meet. Plus, he tells me I know a lot about baseball.
I have his baseball card from the Padres.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's the most he ever made.
Yeah.
That's the most he ever made in the season. $74,000.
I went through on Facebook last week. Someone posted like the 72 American League Championship Series between Detroit and Oakland, and he's there getting base hit and helping to tie the game. I think Detroit eventually won that game, but Kubiak is helping tie the game.
He told me the maddest he ever was during a game was when he had sat in the World Series, or he had sat in the playoffs too. And I guess it was 10 days between playing. And there's 2 outs and bases loaded, and they needed a hit. And Jack McKeon says, I need you to pinch hit, Ted. He's like, oh my God, I've been sitting for 10 days.
Oh, man.
And I said, Ted, what happened? And he's like, well, I struck out on 3 pitches. But he loved Jack McKeon. Oh my God. He also liked, oh my God, I can't remember his name now. The owner.
Charlie Finley?
He loved him.
Really?
He said he wasn't what people thought. He said one time he was going to arbitration, and, they walked in the arbitration hearing together, and he ripped Ted's career apart in the arbitration hearing. And Ted was so mad. He walked out of the arbitration hearing, and Charlie Finley says, oh, don't worry about it, Ted. It's all business. I'll pay you with bonuses. And he made up for it. You know what I mean? And he owned a hockey team too. An AHL hockey team, and the owners hated him and they wanted him to sell. And he used to give the players stock advice. The players would come to his office and he'd help them with their stock portfolio. And Ted went in there one day to get the advice, and he gets off the phone and he says to Ted, yeah, that was the owners committee. They want me to sell the team. They hate me. And he laughed and he said, but I'm not selling.
Yeah.
So he just was a maverick. He was just, different,
Well, and, owner of back-to-back world champions. So
yes,
let that be your legacy right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if Charlie Finley was around today, I think he would be completely in support of all the rules.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, he was something. I mean, so getting back to the Phillies series, they beat the Guardians beat them 1-0 on a pinch hit home run Friday by Kyle Manzalorian.
Right.
Yes, his 5th home run of the year. If he starts heating up, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Right.
And then Saturday, Slade Ciccone pitches his 2nd consecutive good game.
He did pitch well on Saturday. He deserved a better fate.
Yeah, the Phillies did win 3-0.
Yeah.
But but he pitched well, and that's very encouraging.
Yes, it is.
And then today, Parker Messick shuts down the Phillies 5 2/3, 5 hits. He struck out 6. He allowed 2 walks. And he gets the win. And Bazana hits his 3rd home run of the year. Hoskins and Quan have
3 hits today.
RBIs.
Yeah.
How about Hoskins going in there and beating his former team?
I
They
know.
didn't want him anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So that was good. I felt good for him. I felt good for him in Sacramento too, considering he grew up in that ballpark.
Yeah, he did. Right.
Yes.
Right.
I didn't know he went to junior college.
I did not know that either. Yeah.
That's pretty good. There have been guys drafted from Lakeland, though. There have.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if they ever made it to the big leagues. But so then next week, we'll hurry through this. We've been on for almost an hour. You and I could talk about baseball for 7 hours.
I know. Right. Go off on all sorts of tangents.
Oh, my gosh. Next week, starting tomorrow at 6:10, the Nationals come to town. They're 26-27. They're in third place in the NL East, which I would argue is a worse division than the AL Central.
I would argue that too. Right.
Yeah. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They have a -15 run differential. Bybee takes the mound for the Guardians. He's still 0-6. He has not won. He has not won a game yet. I'm having trouble with the TikTok. Wants me to do a little puzzle to stay on the air because I've gone so long. But so he's 0-6 with a 3.75. He's got a good ERA.
Yeah.
And they're facing right-hander Zach Littell. He's 3-4 with a 5.83. So he'll probably shut them down like Painter did today.
Yeah, right.
But Painter's a good prospect. He
is. Right. Yeah. What I heard today, he was picked 10 picks ahead of Gavin Williams.
How about
in the
that?
21 draft.
So that either tells you that the Phillies identify pitching well. Well, no, what it tells you is the Phillies identify pitching well, but the Guardians identify pitching even better.
Yes, right. Yes. Exactly.
So then Tuesday night, Joey Cantillo will pitch. He's 4-1 with a 3.05. He will face Cade Cavelli. I saw him pitch last week, and the broadcaster loved his name. I swear he said his name over and over and over again. It was like, buddy, you don't have to say it every time he throws a pitch. He's 2-3 with a 3.86. But then Wednesday, 110, businessman special. Gavin Williams, 7-3, 3.25 against right-hander Miles Mikolas, who I did not know left the Cardinals. He's 1-3 with a 6.17. So
yeah. I think the Nationals have surprised a lot of people this year. I think a lot of people before the season began or before spring training began thought that they might have the worst record in baseball this year, but they're holding their own. CJ Abrams is a great player.
He is very good. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very good.
The only hiccup he had was when he went to the casino the night before a game when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Right.
He got in a little trouble for that. I think that was in 2024, but so yeah, but they're an up and coming team. You watch, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
So Thursday they have an off day. And then Friday night they welcome in the always overrated Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. You can put them in the same category as the Tigers right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're 22-29. They're in last place in the AL East, who, by the way, only has 2 teams over 500, just like the American League Central.
Right.
They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They also have a -15 run differential, but they are 12-13 since they jettisoned Alex Cora. That's really not a lot of improvement for a team that has another high payroll.
Right. And they just got swept by Minnesota this weekend.
I know. They couldn't even beat Minnesota.
No.
At home. Right. That's really bad.
Right.
So the game time 7:10 on Friday. I'm assuming Slade Ciccone will start that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who will pitch for Boston, but Parker Messick probably on Saturday 4:10. and then Tanner Bybee on Sunday at 1:40. So I always make a prediction at the end of what their record will be during the week.
Okay.
They have 6 games. I think I've been right once this year. And usually when I'm right, it's when I go high. But I'm usually wrong because I'm going low usually.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to jinx them.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Well, we all know what they do on the field doesn't matter. It matters what we say here.
Yeah.
That's what's going to determine their week, right?
Right.
So I'm going to just say I'm going to be conservative. It's the only time I'm conservative. I want to make that clear. And I'm going to say 3-3.
Okay. I'll go with 4-2. I'll say they'll take 2 out of 3 from each.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that happens, but I got to keep up with this record of me being wrong. So hopefully they will go 4-2, or maybe 5-1, or 6-0. Who knows?
Right.
You know, it would be really fun to sweep the Reds.
But, right now with their pitching, it's almost like it was like 10 years ago, where
it really is.
The offense scores and gets them the lead, and the pitching is lights out.
Yeah.
Both starters and bullpen.
I think of a line from Mark DeRosa in 2024 on MLB Network when they were headed into the final week, and they had a big series with Minnesota. And I was watching the show on MLB Network that morning, the morning show they have. And they always had Mark DeRosa talk about the Guardians because he played for the organization. Mm-hmm. And they said, how do you think this series is going to go, Mark? And he said, well, here's what I think is going to happen. And this is what I thought on the way to Detroit last week. And the Cavs did it too. He said, I think Cleveland wins game 1 and snatches the Twins' soul.
Yeah.
And they did, remember? They did.
Yes.
They swept them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened last week in Detroit with the Pistons Cavs. Mm-hmm. I told Tommy that on the way up to Detroit when I was talking to him on the phone. They're just going to go in there tonight and they're going to steal their soul. And they did. So, if the Guardians can continue to do this, just humiliate teams. But I think we're going to end this now. I think this was a little longer than I thought it would be.
Yeah. That's because you had me on as a guest. That's why.
Well, yeah. And you and I, when we start talking about baseball, it never ends.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We could do like a marathon sometime for charity.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But thanks so much for being on, Ken.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah. And we will I'll be back next week with this. Two Guys Talk Sports with Joey Schneider and I will be on Tuesday this week. We'll be back to our normal time. But again, thank you so much, Ken. And we will see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks. Have a good night.